Well, the city of Duluth is preparing to welcome new leadership in the new year. Mayor-elect Roger Reinert is weeks away from taking office. One of his first decisions is bringing in 2 new city leaders.
And Northern News Now's Cara Cobb caught up with Reinert today, who shared his picks.
And I said right away from the election that I was going to be looking at 4 key roles that I thought were really important to make determinations on going into my first year.
Roles including police chief, fire chief, city administrator, and city attorney. While police and fire will stay untouched, the other 2 positions will bring in new faces.
One's a pretty familiar face, Dave Montgomery.
Montgomery will be taking over for Noah Schuckman as city administrator, only taking the position for 1 year as an interim until Reinert can find a permanent replacement. Reinert saying Montgomery is a good fit because of his 9-year history of serving as city administrator, retiring only 2 years after Mayor Emily Larson took office.
He also has just excellent skills around financial management, budgeting, and administration. So 3 really important things.
As for the city attorney, Reinert is bringing in Jessica Freelick to replace Rebecca St. George.
Jessica has an extensive background. She's been in private practice. She's worked with the St. Louis County office. She's been a prosecutor. She's currently working with the 6th District Judicial as a referee.
Reinert says although St. George and Schuckman are great civil servants, Duluth needs a change, taking steps ahead of his swearing in to make for a smoother transition in the new year.
I just think that I have 2 individuals that are better aligned with where I am and where I want to be going.
In Duluth, Cara Cobb, Northern News Now.
Cara, thank you. Now, Reinert says he does not plan to make any more appointments for the remainder of the year. He will be sworn into office on January 2nd at City Hall.